Boom.
Why don't you get a Band-Aid?
I don't need a Band-Aid.
You need tape that looks riddled with bacteria.
It looks awesome. How much cooler does that look than actual Band-Aid?
Yeah.
Oh, that's because you dirtied it. He probably threw mud on it before.
No, I actually
That's
lived
what
in it
men
and worked
do.
on it. Yes.
That's what
You just
they
rub
throw
some
dirt on it.
Rub some dirt
Then
on it.
Why
Put
does
tape
he
on
have
it.
tape on?
Well, you got to tape it up.
Funny story, actually. So, Coach Chapman was on here. He told a story where I slit my wrist, basically, where I got cleated.
Okay, can you clarify that? You
I
did not
didn't
slit your
personally
wrist.
slit my wrist, but I got cleated, and I had to get 13 stitches on my wrist. Did he tell that story?
He did.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, so my mom, he's like holding my arm up here, making sure I don't bleed out. And I'm like, just tape it up, I'll be fine. Well, my mom comes down there, and he's like, Mom, he's got to go to the hospital. He needs stitches. It's pretty bad.
Right.
And she's like, well, can't you just tape it up and we can take him after? I'm like, that's my mom.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, that's...
I've got
Oh, yeah, we have to say, we do now have a fact checker in the room. Kristen is now... Producer
hello.
Kristen.
Woo! Hey, guys.
I think you should look up something for us because Rich was gonna, even though everyone knows Ted's nickname should be Stark.
It's not.
It's
He
not.
was
That's
gonna
done.
call
We're not
him-
even
It's
talking about
Everybody
that
on the
any further.
internet already
He
weighed in
thought-
and said, no, you can't give yourself your
It
own
was
nickname.
like literally like 99.9% of the people
Okay.
said no.
And I don't even think
Well-
one person said yes.
No, not even one person.
Well, most people went Dust
one.
Bucket, which I like that. But Rich thought I said Dirt Bag, and he's like, that's a great nickname. And I was like, that's terrible. But then he told me what it means.
a
Can you look
baseball-
up what Dirt Bag and baseball
I'm on it.
uniform, universe,
Baseball
whatever.
a dirt bag in baseball is a good term. It's like a team guy that like
There's a good
stays for
definition
practice
for
all
it.
the time. It's always there, dirty, like
thought
a
he
guy
just
you can
meant,
rely
like-
on.
Yeah.
Dirt bag.
Yeah, but when you first hear that, you're like, let's call him Dirt Bag. You're like, ugh.
and so we'd never even. We're still calling Ted.
Yeah.
Nothing
there's
even
Ted
worked.
Word. Ted Word.
Ted
you know.
word. No,
Not-
we don't really have anything.
No, it didn't really work.
There's nothing.
Yep, that's a
just
correct
Ted.
fact.
See?
Yep.
See?
What's it say?
What's the
A team
definition?
player at all times.
A key player at all times.
Team player. Yeah.
Team player.
Team key.
Dirtbag.
It means you bring all you have to the table in every single game. Doesn't matter the conditions or who you're playing or where you're playing.
Wow, that's a she's such a great producer.
She's a great
got
producer, see?
I
Right
like
there.
the
She does have a good producer
sound.
voice.
She's hired.
She's hired. She read well. Like,
This
she didn't
is so
fumble at all.
great.
Oh, that's really
I studied
good.
a long time for that.
This is like
Well
a whole
done.
new.
It's a whole new, yeah.
Like, God, this feels official.
Too official. We gotta stop.
I don't know.
Okay, we gotta rein it back. Then we come
Now
back down
Ellie
to earth.
can't just talk trash and
Gosh.
junk the
Yeah.
whole time and make stuff
Oh
up.
yeah, I can.
Find stuff
Bring it
up.
on.
They
On
said
the dark web.
They is going to be included a lot today.
Oh,
and
great.
Silver, we're bringing it back around to you today because this is what I've been obsessing over the last day and a half. You know, because I kind of started talking. I hope you put earmuffs on this morning.
Obsessing.
I probably wasn't listening.
Oh, that makes sense.
I don't even need earmuffs around you. I just don't listen.
We said that the other day.
check
Like
out.
a stranger walked in,
It's
they
true,
go,
actually.
They go, he's not even listening to you. And I was like, yeah, it's
really
fine.
true.
Anyway, so
He doesn't listen to you most of the time.
are you listening?
That's how he stays sane.
Well, how do you stay sane?
He can't hear.
I was getting ready to say.
What? Who? The blessing.
I don't want to like out. I have this significantly older gentleman in my life who his wife, they've been married a long time, thinks that he can't hear, but he can hear.
Oh, you told me
Wow.
that.
Yeah. And
We're not going to rat him out. But
No, and
That's
this
kinda smooth.
This particular gentleman, one day, his wife was nagging him from the kitchen,
Yeah.
and because he had eaten the last of the ice cream,
Yeah.
and he had it in a bowl. And I came walking by, and she's going off. And then she says, he can't hear me anyways, blah, 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 blah. And he winks at me. I'm like, you are the man.
That's kind of cool.
And he's got it figured
I'm
out.
surprised you weren't like, yeah.
Oh, well, I'm learning.
Well-
So that's how I deal with you.
Okay.
I can't even hear you. So,
You're talking to my good ear.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to make sure to talk a little more to you guys, a little louder. It's fine. It'll work.
Okay.
Anyway, so
It's
here's
fine.
here's
We're
the
fine.
point.
Is
Everything's
she
fine.
talking?
Fasting. So
yeah.
yesterday,
Oh,
we had a guest come and say, "Oh, I'm doing the fast thing, whatever." And Jim had mentioned that before.
Just like that, too. Oh, I'm doing the fast thing, you know?
Whatever.
I'm not even going to try. I'll mess that up.
So I started geeking out on it a day and a half ago, and now it's just brought me down multiple what do they call them? Rat holes?
Wormholes?
Wormholes.
Yeah, I don't think it's a rat hole.
Kristen,
Or a
please.
rabbit hole, right?
Rabbit hole. Nice.
Rabbit hole.
See?
even have to
Look at that.
check
She didn't have to check that.
There were rat holes in Vietnam.
There were rat holes.
Viet Cong were in the tunnels,
I
and they
didn't
called
know
them rat holes.
You know Tom Wilson?
Yes.
He was, what do they call it, tunnel rat?
Yeah.
Where they go check those
Yeah.
tunnels.
Yeah.
And he was
That
telling
sounds
us
terrifying.
he
That
was
sounds
in
awful.
one of those tunnels and tripped a booby trap, and it was a grenade. And didn't go off right by his head.
Wow. That's,
He's that man.
That's a legit story.
He's a cool dude.
that's pretty intense.
Marine recon.
Wow.
Yeah. There's a book.
I never knew that.
Marine recon 3D or something like that. I read it. It was really good. But
Huh.
he's Tom's a bad dude.
What do we have? Wormholes, rabbit holes, and rat holes.
Rat holes.
And then there's other kinds of holes too, but we shouldn't talk about that. It's PG. I'm sorry.
No.
She needs a sound. So I want to hear so you just started doing the intermittent fasting.
Yes.
I want to hear how you're doing it, and then we'll kind of maybe track and see things that I've been listening to.
Go ahead and start looking this up.
This is the second time that I've done it.
What day are you on?
Day 5.
Why did you do it, and how long is your what's your window each day?
So I just wanted to try it because I was curious. And I started thinking about in the past, like what had worked for me. Because I kind of started trying to get into all the new diets and everything, and then kind of got a little confused. And there's so many things out there, right? And I just started thinking back to what worked for me.
What does that
And
mean worked for you?
Just when I knew I felt healthy, when my body performed the best, when I thought I looked the best, and I started kind of going back to some of that.
Is it a combo of aesthetics and how you're feeling, or is it more one or the other?
The thing that really attracted me was that people were talking about the clarity of mind.
Gotcha.
And I have
Silver clarity of mind.
I have fasted in the past. Like I've done like 12-day fasts, a 9-day fast, a 6-day fast where I had nothing but chicken broth. And like this was back in the day, way in the day when I was trying to figure myself out. And and at that point it was just about denying myself, like disciplining my body.
Yeah.
No, you can't have that. And you're going to live and you're going to do what I say you're going to do. And I just remember how clear thinking things were, you know, for me in my life. So I thought I would try this, and man, it was. I needed to adjust. I need to adjust it this time because I didn't have enough calories to really work out hard. And so I'm like eating all that at the end of the day, all my carbs and stuff at the end of the
It's
day.
almost like carb backloading version.
And
Yeah.
that's
Because correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard Rogan talking about it, and I've done not on purpose sometimes, and I've tried some intermittent fasting type stuff and carb backloading.
Right.
But, or I guess it was Ben Greenfield was talking about it. He said on the fast, you still take in the same amount of calories, but you just take them in a smaller window instead of just, throughout the day. You'll have 8 hours that you eat.
That's
and
what I'm
then
doing, yeah.
8 hours.
Yeah.
So you're fasting for 16 hours basically.
Yeah. So I don't eat till 10. Then I've got 8 hours to get it in, and then I'm eating healthy. I'm not going crazy with it. I'm just eating healthy, and then I'm not having anything after that 8-hour window. And then I'll probably cut it back to 7. And that's what I did last time. And then I think I'm going to try to play with when to eat my energy, because that first workout of the day in the morning is hard when you're doing it fasting.
well, and that's why I'm interested to hear someone who combines it with intense exercise or training to see how that works, because there wasn't, these people just going around and talking about this is one thing, but doing that with the amount of.
But as far as like being an elite athlete or a professional athlete, I'm not sure how well it would work.
Yeah.
One, because like you said, that first workout's going to be garbage.
Right.
2, it's like you have 8 hours to eat, but that's also your kind of peak training time as well. So how are you going to eat the calories you need while training? I mean, I'm sure there are people out there, and somebody's going to call us idiots because we don't know what we're talking about. But I just feel like that would be. I've done it, but doing it healthy would be the hard way. Like
for sure.
Literally at night, I would eat any and everything, like cookies, donuts, pizza, whatever, and it's not healthy. But I think for aesthetics, I think it's a great.
I got really leaner than normal, which I felt really good, and the clear-minded thing was really there. I think the other really important thing too is that I've done a bunch of research on it. I just bought a bunch of amino acids, and I'm going to kind of experiment with that as energy. And I don't think I've done a good job with that. And then that's not something you're supposed to do all the time. It's not something I think
the intermittent you can. I think the longer fasts is not something you do.
Yeah, but
all the time.
I think the guys that I'm listening to that I'm liking, Their theory is that you do this maybe for 5 or 6 months, and then we want our bodies to adapt to eating things, and we want our bodies to be healthy, and so then you'd go off that, and you eat a little bit different, and kind of throwing things at your body is good, not living this way,
Well, Rogan was saying like when he knows he has heavy weights and intensity in the morning, he doesn't do it.
Does Rogan talk like that?
Yeah, just like
with
that.
heavy weights and intensity in the morning.
And I haven't listened to him much, but the couple times
I've never heard him sound like that.
I actually have. He does a really good female voice.
Oh, that's good to know. I guess I nailed it then.
He talks like his 7-year-old or something, and it's really funny.
That's awesome. Well, so they did a study. This is one of like the longest running studies in rats with fasting. It's interesting considering your past diet. They not underfed. What do they call it? It's not like minimal eating.
Rationed?
Hold on. There's a word for it.
They underfed. They starved them.
Starved them. Yeah.
Caloric restriction.
Animal testing, Kristen. You hear that?
No, but this will have a happy ending for them, kind of.
Just kidding.
So they fed rats. They had like a control group, and there were 2 groups, and this was like a really long study. And they restricted their calories 70%.
Calorie restriction.
They calorie restricted. Thank you.
Saying that's probably what the term you were looking for.
Yes, restricted the rats 70%. One, they gave really, really high quality rat, as close as to the rat diet as they
organic
could get.
garden food.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, look
Organic
at that
garden weeds.
I'm a winner. You might as well.
You're not a winner.
You might as well pay up now.
According to social media,
Yeah, but
I'm a
they
winner.
don't. I'm gonna have to rephrase that question. I don't think they understand the
According
question.
to
Anyway,
social
go back
media.
to let's go
You're
back to
gonna
the
wake up this
question
week
before
and
we
it's gonna
start.
be
Right. We'll get over there.
pristine.
I want to
We'll
bring
get
it
back
up
Anyway,
later.
okay, so the quality food rats and the other rats, this like floored scientists. They were so frustrated because it came back that the calorie restricted rats, the longevity was massively different than the non-restricted. However, there was no difference between the quality nutrition they gave them and the not. Then again, it's a rat. And also you have to take into consideration fasting in a rat is infinitely different than a human because of the time domain. Like what we think could be 12 hours to a rat could be their lifetime.
How was it different, Ellie?
What do you mean?
Rat.
You said it was vastly different.
She's fact checking me.
What'd she just say?
You said it was vastly different, but how was it different between the 2 groups?
Ooh, I like this. I like this.
I like this.
I like this.
It was
Kay
like
Miller coming in.
67.39% different.
Oh.
But how?
Maybe.
Like, what was the difference?
So the rats that did not have caloric restriction died a lot sooner. The other ones lived a lot longer. But so back to the whole fasting theme.
Yes.
What I was interested in when I first started. So this guy, he comes on and lost all this weight, and he talks about the difference between intermittent fasting, 3-day, 7-day, and 21 days. Which I'm amazed. I got to circle back around to that.
Yep.
You saying you did that,
But
he was saying no one seems to know in detail what happens to your body when you're doing just the intermittent. For some reason, everyone's feeling better and they think it's like shrinking the cells and all of that.
Right. It's this
it's
idea of getting to ketosis.
So you're trying to get to autophagy.
I've heard that word.
Look it up.
So I don't know how to spell, but so what happens
Epiphany?
is so
Her name is Tiffany?
It's A-U-T.
no, that's me spelling it in my head. However, I thought.
Guessed, I'm sure.
Or
So
it could be
I just
E.T.
guessed. I'm sure Google will tell me.
So when you fast for 3 days, you get to a point called autophagy, which is the cleaning.
Yes. Yes. What is it?
I'm not sure how to pronounce it either.
But what does it say? What is autophagy or autophagy?
It's AUTOPHAGY.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
What's
But
it
you
mean?
had an extra N in there.
Autophagy? I don't know how you say it.
What's it mean?
Okay.
Means self-devouring.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're they say the reason it has so many benefits for like cancer and health is all cells get to a place called apoptosis, and that's when the cell's regular lifespan they pop and
Apoptosis.
lasers and lightning shoots out, and then you trip. I don't know.
That's true.
Anyway,
by the way.
I love her.
Oh, yeah. It's a whole new level of accountability here.
So a normal cell's lifespan,
Yes.
apoptosis occurs. That's the normal thing that happens.
Right.
A mal.
I can't
Nourished?
tell.
It's not nourished. A mal.
Calorie restricted?
No. There are cells that they bypass that apoptosis part.
Okay.
Apoptosis.
And what happens is they're like kind of deformed cells, and they keep producing more of these maldeveloped cells. And that's what causes cancer and all of these things. When you get to autophagy, it is now these cells are eating themselves because they get to...
Is it just autophagy?
Autophagy.
I'm trying to look up how to
I don't
say
feel
it.
like that.
There's an N.
Ketosis.
You're right. And there's
Autophagy. I think
autophagy.
is how
Ketosis.
you
How many
say
times do I
it.
have to say it?
So,
I know this.
well, so once you get there, it kicks out the malformed proteins. And that starves out the bad bacteria and the bad cells. So once you get to 3 days, but you have to get to, and it's easier
Basically, they're using the sugar as their source. And so if you go to ketosis,
make
you
it
don't have the
simple.
sugar.
You start burning
And you're not feeding
fat
Yeah, you're not feeding the
instead
cells
of sugar. So we switch what the fuel
I
your body's
understand
burning.
what ketosis is, yeah.
Right.
And that's the part I haven't studied more of why these go hand in hand. But
We are not scientists.
No,
Right.
We are not experts at this. This is
We don't even know how to spell it.
no.
But
Or pronounce things sometimes.
we don't know what we're doing.
but it's easier, they say, to get to, how do I
I
say
feel
it?
like we need a professional for
Autophagy.
this
Seriously,
conversation. I think we're a little too far down this rat hole.
Okay,
It
there's
is a rat hole.
Okay.
There's two things. Apoptosis, this normal cell when they die,
Life.
right? When you don't
Think
have
of it
that,
as a star.
yes.
Like a
when you
star
don't have
supernova.
I like
you
it.
like that?
I like it. That's good.
And then it blows
Where
up
are
and
you
turns
trying
into
to
a
take
black
this
hole.
conversation?
I'm trying
She's
to get you
just
to
trying to
understand
educate
why
everyone.
you're doing. Why are you fasting? Why does this
I
take?
think we were just talking
I already
about
said
that.
it. I told you exactly why I'm doing it.
Why are the matches? Never mind.
I want to
It
burn
was good,
fat.
Ellie.
I want to switch from burning
But
sugars.
why is this long-term health? Why does
it
this cure
reduces
cancer?
tons of
Why does
inflammation.
this-
Tons of inflammation.
Right, but it's getting rid of these cells, and it goes hand in hand with the microbiome issue of the bad bacteria in your gut. So if
I like
nothing,
how you pointed to your gut with bad bacteria because
Which
you
is
have bad
between the two
bacteria.
of you. Is
my
mine's
gut's
better.
better
Hers
than
is
your
jacked
gut.
up.
It is
Jacked
not.
L. Wish we could fact check that.
I do have the paperwork over there, but it's
Listen,
okay. But-
you believe in Jesus. Liar. He's checking you here. The ultimate fact check.
But the point is, and what I'm understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, Kristen, and
What's your
you
understanding?
too, if you have these malformed proteins and this bad bacteria in your body, even if you eat clean from then on, you still have those bad proteins and that bad bacteria
It's not
floating
a
around.
cure for cancer.
No, but if you intermittent fast, it's the reset to get rid of the crud
Right.
in your body.
Did you say reset?
Yes.
Yes, that's right.
That
That's
would
why
be-
he's saying to do it
that's
every
the
couple
point.
months.
Right.
However,
However,
Well-
To reset the body.
well, yeah, and it also improves your carb tolerance without insulin spikes.
Said that.
You did?
Which is why you're clear-headed, right? Or feel more clear-headed because you don't have the crazy.
Yep.
Up and
Not the
down.
ups and downs.
what else you got, El?
Well, just another doctor that
What
was just
really
saying,
messed me up was like not being disciplined. So like I would in the beginning I do really well for 5 days, and then come the weekend have a donut, have some alcohol, something with a bunch of sugar in it, and then I felt like I had the flu because you immediately had that insulin spike, that sugar spike, and your body's trying to process that, and it's not been using
Doing
that
that.
for fuel, and it sends you sideways. So you got to be.
I'm just amazed that you cannot eat and only drink water for 3 days. I would be a gremlin.
So like
I
the
couldn't
first,
even imagine.
I had chicken broth and water. And the first 3 days were some of the most miserable of my entire life. And then after that, you're good. Your body just adjusts and you get a
I
hold
like
of
soup.
I literally
I like
just
chicken soup.
What's your favorite
I
kind
just
of
brought
soup?
the broth.
Chicken?
Soup.
Like broth and
Yeah.
a little carp and just
They actually say that's harder when you have calories at all. Like one of the guys did broth and kombucha, and he said because the trace amounts of calories, like it still keeps things kind of
Kinda
burning.
going.
And it actually, like, so you took the harder route and still succeeded.
Well, there's no way you could train like we do and
No,
do
forget
a
that.
multiple day fast.
No,
you would just
forget
have to like. I'd be sitting
After-
on my couch and my
Dead.
kids would be smacking me over the head with a baseball bat.
I
and
took a
would be-
walk. That was the
Right.
most that I did physically.
I don't think I couldn't do that multiple day fast and try to keep up with those kids.
No.
way.
no,
not possible.
You wouldn't
My kids
have the
were
patience.
gone.
Like
I was by myself,
Yeah.
living
your
in a
brain
camper
would
on
be
a hill.
like,
I eat when I'm stressed. Come on. Yeah. If I get bored, if I'm not training, I feel like that's the days I eat the worst because you're just like, I should go. Nah, I'm gonna go eat.
yep.
I
Like
this
right
junk.
now, Seven Senses, it's a cool little restaurant here in town, has the best what do you call that? Banana pudding? Is that what it is with the vanilla wafers in it? With brandy?
Wow.
And I get up thinking about it. And I go to sleep thinking about it. And I'm looking for excuses to go over there.
Dreams about it.
It's like it's in this dish that's like this big. And it's way too much to eat. And I can do it. I am not a quitter. I put that in front of me.
Well, so
as long as it's not after 6 o'clock, right?
Oh, man. And they don't have it all the time. So I go in there and I ask them, hey, do you have it?
Oh, man. If they say no,
like
you
a
walk
junkie.
out?
Like a banana pudding junkie.
Can you put it right here? Mainline it?
I did learn today, though, that to improve my...
Cue up. Miller?
Just get it ready. Go ahead. I didn't
Getting
say
my
anything.
fingers ready.
So, for my gut health, one of the questions was because I'm lacking in B6.
B6 or B12?
You're
Mine
12.
was B12.
I'm 6 because my gut's better than your gut.
No,
it's fine.
No, 12 is a bigger number than 6.
That's where we're... Anyway, so one of the questions the professional asked me was... he looked at me, he goes, I bet you don't drink a lot of alcohol. And I was like... No, of course.
Liar.
Like Wine Wednesday.
Liar straight from the pit of hell.
So you guys know you'd be proud of me. I go, well, I enjoy...
There's Wine Wednesday, Tequila
enjoy
Thursday.
some wine.
Spirits on Saturday.
And he goes, oh, okay, well, so...
I've always wondered how you can be as competitive as you are
I
and
don't
drink as much
that
alcohol as you
much.
do.
Hammered as you are all the time.
Oh my gosh, I am not. Why do you think I'm so fun? Anyway.
Are you drunk now?
Are you high? You're high right now.
So he said, I confessed you guys would be proud of me. I was like, maybe like 3 nights a week I'll have some wine, whatever.
Good.
And he goes, well, I know you like organic and healthy stuff, so I know that you don't do the cheap box wine. And I'm like, son of a biscuit. Okay, yeah, I drink the box wine. And he's like, he goes, do you know how they age that? And I was like,
Yeah.
He goes, UV lights.
In a box.
And lots of he said all my most horrific thoughts of non-organic things. So I won't drink that anymore. He says that I have to drink the aged red wine to keep the balance in my gut better.
I listened to, Ben
Is that true?
Greenfield just did a whole podcast
For your
on
B6 deficiency?
alcohol.
Let's check.
And the best ones for working out.
What are the
And
best ones?
So it was wine, and it's a dry wine, and they make some really good wines that are actually designed for athletes.
So you're saying Sailor Jerry's not a good one?
Not the choice. And then, so what do they call it when
But
they,
it tastes good.
No, it doesn't. It tastes terrible and it's cheap.
like gin distilled? It needs to be the most distilled
that's what I
if
used
it's going
to-
to be anything other than like wine. So like a
terrible.
triple distilled vodka, or
So in my individual CrossFit days, whenever I went out with my friends, I only drank straight gin, the fancy kind, because I had read that it was
right. Well, he said the best thing to drink was Everclear
Everclear.
That
Can
gives
you
me
even
chills.
because it doesn't. I guess I don't know, but
I
I never
just
had
don't think you
Everclear.
can-
But
Pure grain alcohol, right?
right, it's like
PGA.
I just
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
affects it. So tell us more about Ben
Moonshine.
Greenfield and the alcohol, because I just as an athlete, hard liquor seems like it'd be really hard to make that work ever.
And look, I'm just repeating, and I'm not an
Yeah.
expert at
Best
this.
alcohol for athletes.
But he said that I'm going to say this wrong. The
B6
liver, like alcohol, goes straight to the liver.
It's true.
It doesn't go through the rest of the system. And so he was talking about, hey, listen, don't drink if you want to be at your best. But if you're going to drink, and then he was talking about, I don't know the technical terms, but how the liver's designed, that stuff gets in there quick. And so you want to be careful about what kind and how it gets into your liver, and then how your liver processes it. So it was whatever's the most distilled. You don't want to drink beer because of all the grains. So stay away from things that have tons of grains in it.
Right.
And then whatever's the most distilled, he said Everclear was the best, then
Right,
like
'cause it's
vodka,
been-
and then wine, and then he went on to talk about how wine, like a lot of people actually do wine.
Well, it's not like getting
And it's-
hammered off. Like if you have a glass of wine, that's one thing. Then
7.
who does 7?
What are we talking? A classy glass or an Ellie glass?
A chalice.
Because I know when you and
Or-
Hillary drink your wine, it's not a classy glass.
The best thing is you're around a new person and you don't think anything of it, and you go to pour them a glass of wine, and
They're like, ooh.
they look at the glass and they go. You're like, oh, I just did.
I know this is going to be bad, but what was the CrossFit Games athlete that we saw up in Ohio? And she has a wine.
Margot.
Oh, Margot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Margox.
She's like, I think when we were talking a little bit, she has some wines that are right for
Yeah.
athletes.
Well, that's
that
awesome.
she has certain
I
wines
have
that
to
are really
invest in
good.
those now for my gut health.
I don't like wine.
You've
I
never
really
even
can't drink
tried
wine
probably
either.
real wine. There's so many different kinds for your palate. Like, honestly, like, I should go visit Margot and understand
Palate.
it better. But there's so many different varieties. You can go from a juicy juice box to something that's, like,
I like
so
juice.
dry. Yeah, I mean, you can't honestly say you don't like it if you haven't
Dry
had
just
the...
doesn't taste good, though. I like the sweet stuff. I don't know why.
No,
my
'cause
palate.
It's good. I like the sweet
My
stuff,
palate
too. Your
likes sweet stuff.
Your palate?
How many times do we say palate?
palates. Kristen, did you have information for us?
Nothing really.
It's going a little slow.
Yeah, don't worry
it's
about it.
still loading.
Oh, it's okay.
But I think it says some, like, one of the best ones is just vodka and soda.
Yeah. That's what he talked about.
Which
Which I like.
Well, same.
I do
Gin
that.
is even cleaner though too.
I
like
can't
you
do
said,
vodka.
Like,
I don't like vodka.
gin,
I don't really
gin.
like any alcohol, to be honest. None of it tastes that great.
You know what? And it ends up being really counterproductive for me.
Yeah,
Me too.
I mean,
Not for Ellie, but for me.
Ellie could be hammered, and then the next
I
day
have some
she
of my
works
greatest
out just
ideas.
fine.
Yep. Like, no, I don't get hammered and work out. Wait a
She
minute.
was like, no.
Just that. This is a joke. It's fine.
It's fine. We're
Everything's
fine.
We're fine. Everything's fine.
We're fine.
So back to the whole. This is
The
my
title
last.
of this is going to be Ellie's a drunk.
Not funny.
I can't wait.
But Margot can have a wine sponsorship. Just kidding. But serious.
We should have her on, actually.
She'd be so awesome.
like super cool.
So the doctor talking about fasting. This other guy who's really, really smart.
What's his name?
Well, Peter Attia. That's the guy that was on Rogan talking about fasting and caloric restriction and
Did you listen to that one yet?
Rapamycin.
I did.
It was incredible.
really good.
I'm only halfway through it, but he was saying that there are 3 things that universally extend longevity, and don't ask me what the third one is because I didn't get to that part. But caloric restriction is one of them, and rapamycin, which has something to do with your immune system, and I didn't get to the third one, but that's that.
I wish we were way better at knowing all of those, the actual facts to that, because I think it's super important.
Well, I mean,
And it's not bad that we're talking about it. But
No. Yeah, I wish I knew.
Well, when I was at the University of Florida, our pole vault coach, like the leanest guy ever, I can't remember what country he was from, but he was from a different country, and his course of study was caloric restriction, and you've never seen a human leaner than this dude, and his study was rats, and he would always come and say, oh, I ate the grapefruit, and that's it, and we're all like, you're crazy, you're an athlete, and why are you doing this? But I mean, now seeing all this stuff,
you know what's crazy?
Ate
Like
grapefruit.
in my lifetime,
that wasn't a good story.
No, I
Then he
don't-
found $1.
That was a good story.
and I've been around a long time.
You have.
Yes.
That's true.
Hey, that wasn't enough time to fact check that.
Sorry.
Like it's crazy how different what we said was healthy.
Yeah.
In the day,
Yeah.
you know, the 4 food groups and all of that, and now we've really come a long ways.
Yeah,
To,
and how much of that is influenced by
Yeah,
Big companies and-
That's what
and-
sucks.
Right.
It's just like, and everybody's different. And
listen, what one person?
some
what
people
one person
don't eat
could,
meat. Some people are Episcopalians.
It's true.
Well, what it takes to be in ketosis for one person is completely different for another
Right.
person, and what's right for your body and works for your body is maybe different than mine.
But as technology grows too, and understanding these markers, we're just going to continue to learn things in a different way, and it's just unbelievable how much it's changed in over
Right.
a decade. You know, it's
I love-
unbelievable, but it's gonna.
Actually,
10 years
Kay
and a
Miller and
decade
I
are the
were
same.
talking about this
What?
today.
10 years and a decade are the same. Sorry, Kay Miller was talking
No,
about
that's
this.
okay. We were just talking about this. It's super interesting. Because I'm getting old. I don't want to die.
Yeah.
I want to figure it out. Like make
okay,
me live
Jim.
forever.
It's okay,
okay, Jim.
Silver. You're not that
I'm
old.
fine.
You got
It's
a couple
fine.
years
Fine.
left. You'll be all right.
fine.
So here's something I've heard debated often. Christian, you're gonna have to look it up because I haven't looked it up.
All right, I'm on it.
I've heard often that microwaves are extremely bad, and my uncle says that it changes the chemical. I don't know what it changes, but it changes something about the food itself in the way that it's.
I just know my dad wouldn't let me stare into it when the food was getting cooked as a child.
I know nothing
I have no
about
idea
it.
why. But then Lakeland does it now, and I'm like, hey, don't do that. And she's like, why? I'm like, because your grandpa says.
Because
Right.
you can't. But
That's
so
funny.
get this, and this is also this was a Rogan
What,
thing too.
just
But
Google, like, what does microwave do to food?
it changes something, but
do we have something?
I'm on to some article that says is microwaving bad for you? What 23 studies have to say?
Find
It's
it.
loading.
Yeah, let us know. But it has to adjust the food, and I'm wondering if that contributes to like the whatever proteins and all of that.
I have no idea. I know nothing about it. I know that I was
like a microwave. It cooks stuff fast.
alive when they
which-
were invented.
It's too convenient. If it cooks stuff fast, then it's too convenient. Like there's just
Well, think about the
it's like taking a
trifecta.
shortcut.
That food is microwavable. And
Yeah,
you
but
pop
it
in.
changes all food.
Wow. Are you saying I can't use a microwave now? What are you saying?
Definitely not popcorn. Did you hear the thing about popcorn?
I like popcorn. Layton loves popcorn.
Chemicals
She's
used
the
in
one
the
to watch
lining.
eat popcorn, watch a movie. That's what she says.
Well, you're gonna have to get the little machine that pops the kernels and shoots it out, and not
Like
the
an air
microwave.
popper?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
It tastes better,
Isn't
too.
it
It
the
does taste
chemicals in
better.
the bag?
the bag, the
Yeah.
chemicals in the lining of the
It's, like,
microwave
really bad.
popcorn bag, including perfluorooctanoxate acid or PFOA, are part of a
PFOA.
class of compounds that are linked to infertility in humans, according to a recent study in UCLA. The chemicals also cause liver cancer, testicular cancer, and pancreatic cancer in rats.
No more popcorn.
No popcorn.
Oh, popcorn.
It's out.
So, that's a big deal. You don't really want to get stuck down that,
Rabbit hole.
yeah, that hole of something.
Yes. One of the many holes we've talked about today.
Kristen, did you find anything on the microwaves? Because that's...
I'm just. Oh well, now it just disappeared.
Our internet's terrible.
It just loaded.
We might
So
have
I'm
to
just doing a
get
little-
some Wi-Fi out here in the barn if we're going to
Yeah.
have a
Fact checker.
fact checker producer person.
Yeah, we're going to have to work on that. There was another guy I listened to, too, that was so cool. That was discussing... I wanted to bring it up because you guys know so much about exercise physiology, and you've been around a lot of athletes trying to get faster and whatnot. And
Stride length, stride frequency.
kind of, but
That's
it was
how you get
so the
faster.
same guy that was talking about fasting was talking about this other guy who is like the guru in making football players and people faster.
Okay.
And then he ended up working like with a marathon runner down the road and all of that. And he said the way to make someone faster was they have those force plate things, and it was you have to have you have to combine maximal force against the plate with it's a ratio divided by your body weight. So, how you train this is by taking away. So we're gonna use the deadlift for example. By taking away the negative of the movement. This is how he made his athletes faster.
The eccentric, so you're just
Yes.
doing concentric stuff.
Yes, because they were saying that, what's it called? What are the two? The actin and the myosin. So by taking away the eccentric, you're no longer breaking down your actin and myosin. So you can continue to get the power
get the
without
force.
the breakdown. And that also doesn't make the size of the muscle larger. It increases the 2B fibers. Is that right? The fast?
Type 2A
Type 2
or type 2?
Type 2
fibers.
fibers.
Yeah.
It increases
Type
those.
2B are more explosive.
Yeah,
type
type 2
2X, whatever.
Type 2B is what it was saying, but it doesn't increase the size of the muscle, so that would keep your weight down. So if you're doing the which one is that? The concentric, taking away the eccentric, you can become
More
faster
explosive.
because so they did all these studies, and they said you can actually do plyometrics better after a very heavy deadlift, like 90%, like 3 times 3 at 90%, you can jump on a box higher than you could had you not performed that. And then,
Eccentric is what breaks down tissue. Yeah, makes sense.
so they wanted to take this parallel and see if they could do anything else with other kinds of athletes. So
Rats.
I love rat plyometrics. Have you ever seen that before? Little rats doing.
I have not.
I
On the
imagine,
wheel? Hamster wheel?
I imagine that they have headbands on and like little yoga balls. Anyway, I'm just kidding.
Question. What was it that we did with those cuffs? Remember the cuffs that you brought?
blood restricted.
And we
forget what they call it.
You were here that day.
Yeah, it was
Basically,
terrible.
That was
basically you take a
crazy.
percentage of it's based off of your pulse, or
Right.
you take blood pressure cuffs, restrict the blood flow, and so the idea is you can restrict the blood flow and do like I forgot the percent, a lower percentage,
Right.
so it's easier on your body and still get the benefits of it. I mean,
Right.
it was terrible, but I think it was just
God, I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah, my
I
legs
felt
were gonna
so
explode.
weird after that.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, it was
I wasn't
terrible.
sure it was even safe. I was just
Wow.
like, what are
Yeah,
we
I was
doing?
like, I'm gonna have a heart attack.
Yeah. So, but not the same idea.
No.
Different idea, completely different.
Well, so they applied this to a marathon runner, which is like a slower twitch, whatever, and they tested him, and his force output was only 1.7 times, so he could deadlift 1.7 his body weight.
Mm-hmm.
And they were saying for you to hit the marathon split that you want to hit, you have to be 2.6 times your body weight. So they made him do all this explosive stuff
Wow.
so that each stride he could travel 4 inches further per step.
Wow.
And he did, and he won all the stuff.
That's
and
genius.
Won all these medals and all that.
That's genius.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. So, I mean, is that something that we would ever... No.
No.
But I could use some
to-
force output.
Yeah, but yes, you could work those certain areas, but I don't think you should eliminate the eccentric part of movements always.
Well,
I mean, there's different things you can do.
Especially for what you do.
Yeah, I mean, because
does
you're not going to be
Levi.
like, hey, Dave, let me take the eccentric part out of this deadlift. I mean, you just drop it from the top, but, I mean, sometimes you're not allowed to do that, so you need to train all areas. So it's
Well, and that goes back to, like, adaptation and all of that, too.
That was good.
Sorry, that was super sciencey to start. I apologize.
No, it was good.
I was just wanted to talk it out because I wanted to see if I...
You wanted to work through it?
Yeah. I still don't feel very worked through.
You got worked over.
Yeah, worked out. Yeah, that was just confusing.
Yeah, we need to get like a couple experts in on some of that.
Absolutely.
Some folks that actually really know what that is. I know that with the intermittent fasting stuff, I really feel better. And I'm not doing anything officially to see if I'm in ketosis, like where you need to do a blood test, or
Yeah.
I think you can breathe, you can do some of that kind of stuff. So I'm not getting that sciencey. But I definitely know how I feel, and I'm kind of using that as a gauge. So
We'll see. Does
Yeah.
it affected your performance when we train early or anything like that?
Does it affected?
Does it?
I don't
it
know
affected?
where I'm at now because I'm kind of coming off the being sick.
Yeah.
But for sure, when I was doing this last time, it really affected my performance negatively because I wasn't. Well, I kind of restricted what I was eating too. I didn't understand that part. Like,
Yeah.
So I'm gonna kind of switch that up.
Well,
this
maybe,
time.
I mean, even if you started your workouts after you had your first meal,
Right.
maybe not do your first workout on that calorie restricted,
Right.
on the,
I've got to that spot
fasted
now
part.
where I'm hungry, but I feel good.
Yeah.
Like you kind of have that gnawing in your gut, but it feels kind of good. You're like, yeah.
Do you have coffee?
I'm alive.
Yeah.
Does the coffee have to be in the window too?
I drink right when I get up water with lemon
He
juice.
doesn't drink coffee. He drinks dirty chai tea, something.
This
dirty chocolate chai.
Milk and sugar with a little coffee.
If I just had coffee, it wouldn't knock you out of ketosis. Just
so
black
you're
coffee.
technically you're allowed to have that
You could.
outside of your window.
I do water with lemon, or actually with lime juice and some sea salt, and then I have some those greens. What's that? Athletic greens.
Oh, yeah. You like that, right?
Yeah, and that doesn't. I'm fine. And then I'll have, but I can't have this because it's got so much sugar in it, and
Right.
until I'm in my window.
There's sugar in your dirty chai?
No,
It's
This is,
chocolate.
this is more like a powder, like a sugar
Don't
mix.
you drink a
This
couple
is
of those a day?
just one.
Oh, okay.
That's a chocolate milk
I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
with some leaf in it.
With some...
Yeah, there's nothing healthy about this. I really need to get rid of it, but I love it.
That's crazy.
Aw.
It says your name on
Hey,
it.
is it preventing you from being 100% of who you're created
Yes,
to be?
there's no question that it is. Please don't throw
Why
that
would
in
you
there.
do that?
I won't have to.
Oh,
I know.
my gosh.
I keep looking at it and you know what? Like, I spend a lot of money on that a month too. Like
On coffee.
going in there. These are like
Yeah, remember when we bought that coffee maker so we'd stop spending so much money on coffee? How many times have been
Oh,
used?
who's been dragging us to the barn? When do
7.
we ever go to the gym?
Oh,
I
where
thought
could
you
you
were
bring
talking
that
about here.
coffee maker? It is portable.
Well, then maybe we'll pick it up and bring it over.
I actually
kidding. I
never
don't
thought
like
about
that
that.
It's literally this big.
Why didn't you suggest it?
Because I
That's
don't
a
really
really
drink
good
coffee.
idea. We could put it right here and then we'd have it.
I don't drink coffee, so why would I care?
I need to stop. I gotta
You don't.
stop.
You're fine.
No, it's not
Okay,
fine.
so now you're doing this thing.
Well, you could just drink coffee with
fine,
with some
it's
creamer in
fine.
there, and it'd be.
Have you
Yeah.
ever heard of
No.
Monk? I'm gonna
Kopi
look it up.
Luwak?
So my daughter told me about the greatest sweetener of all time, monk fruit.
monk fruit? Yeah.
What is it?
To like stevia?
It's
looking
better
it up.
for you.
Isn't
Do you know?
stevia supposed to be? I thought.
Let's
Here's
find
my
out
thing
about
with
monk fruit.
I don't really
Yeah,
know
I'm
enough
looking it
about
up.
sweeteners, but I feel like your body thinks it's sugar if it's sweet. So
Yeah.
you still have the same response, I feel.
Your body. So that's that. I
can't
literally
be
heard
true.
that the other day. If you have a glass of orange juice, it is the exact same response from your body as drinking a Mountain Dew. You might not have the other
Orange juice
side
has the
effects.
same amount of sugar in it
No,
than
no. I'm
a
talking
Mountain Dew
like
does.
artificial sweeteners, like aspartame and all those.
Don't they have
and
the same
like
effect on your
stevia
brain?
and stuff like that. I don't really care about the brain. I'm talking about the body right now.
Orange juice has just
Wait,
as much
no,
sugar as
I'm
Mountain
talking
Dew.
about diet drinks.
So you're saying they do or do not have the same effect?
I feel like you get the same. I feel you should get the same insulin response by drinking something. You know, like everybody's like, oh, I drink Diet Coke. I don't drink real Coke. I feel like it's still.
You're still. I mean, if you go back to the
your body is still like, oh, this is sugar. I'm gonna do something. It's not sugar, but it is like your body. It's sweet, so your body's gonna have the same response. I don't know.
I don't think that's
isn't
true.
that with anything too? Like, I mean, if you go
I
back
don't
to the
want that
zone
to be
diet, your insulin spikes if you don't have that relative balance in anything you consume.
What's monk
correct?
fruit? Did
So
you get
monk
anything?
fruit, it is a small melon native to parts of China and Thailand. It's been used as a sweetener and herbal remedy in traditional Eastern medicine for centuries. And
Yeah, she says she puts monk fruit in her coffee and it tastes delicious, and she's done with sugar.
But
She's
is it? What is it?
eliminated sugar.
Is it a liquid? Is it a
Put it
powder?
in cakes?
you can get it in
know.
either form, I
You can
think.
get it at Kroger's.
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 Your local Kroger's.
Yeah.
So one time I was looking for, when I was addicted to Kodiak cakes for a little while, I was looking for a lower sugar syrup, and I got one with monk fruit, and I'm like, this is going to be amazing. And I think it might have just been the syrup, and I never went back again, but it was
Terrible.
not good.
Oh,
didn't-
I
Can't
don't
mess
want
with
to.
syrup.
Yeah,
Syrup is
that was
like.
a poor decision, but I feel like
can't even
your
go, like-
sweetener is
You're a syrup
probably
I
purist.
good too.
love syrup. You can't even like go sugar free or low sugar syrup. It's just kind of like
That's
You just gotta
chemicals.
commit to just like
Just eat
if
the
you're
But
gonna
syrup.
have
that's the
syrup,
thing
yeah.
of like.
it's from a tree. Come on.
You should. It's way better to have
Pure
sugar
cane sugar,
than.
whatever.
It's from a tree. Come on.
Aunt Jemima's. No, that's probably all crap. But
No, you can't have the ones that have like 30 ingredients. That's just not healthy. Not at
I'm
all.
gonna
What if
try
they
the
were all
monk fruit.
good
I'm gonna
ingredients?
try.
Then that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I would vote pure sugar anyway, but not
So
sugar. Syrup.
back to what Rich was saying. It says monk fruit's sweetness comes from chemicals called moghricides. I'm probably saying that wrong. Which the body processes differently from common sugars like sucrose and fructose.
Good. I want to
So they're
believe that.
comparing it to stevia. It has a low glycemic index, or actually a glycemic index of 0. So it's not going to cause a rapid spike in your blood sugar compared to high GI foods.
Wow.
So
I'm in. I'm gonna
It's
try
been
it.
used for centuries, so
wow, we gotta try
Centuries.
that monk
Centuries.
fruit.
Hey, if it's good enough for the monks, it's good enough for me.
That's true.
They do some fasting, right?
They do.
They do all sorts.
All
they,
over the world, I'm
They
sure.
can sit naked in the snow and not be cold.
Well, I can't.
I
Wim
doubt
Hof.
that.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
They were still cold. You can't say you're not cold.
You're not a monk.
No, but you can't say you're sitting in snow, you're cold. Like you have the physiological.
Not if your mind's strong enough.
You're still cold.
Not cold.
Well, you might feel the sensation of cold, but your body doesn't react the same as like the average person that goes out into the cold.
yeah. So there.
Wim Hof, he does all that kind of stuff.
It's wild.
Have you heard that guy talk?
It's crazy.
No.
Wim Hof.
What does he do? What
Is
does
he
do?
like a German dude?
What has he done?
He's done
Like
a lot of.
Didn't he run barefoot through Antarctica without a shirt?
Yeah, I've seen I really don't
Yeah,
know.
but
I know
like-
there's some breathing things and some ice.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't really know anything about
I
him.
know nothing about it. I don't
But
know
I
what
mean-
I'm talking about. I shouldn't have said
He's
anything.
Dutch.
Oh,
Who's
hey.
Dutch?
He's known as the
board is
Iceman.
Dutch.
The Iceman, yeah. I saw some video where he was like in some.
So he
And
just
he uses
adapts to cold?
breathing techniques that he uses to adapt to cold.
Does he?
Yeah. And he walks into Antarctica
does he?
and then is fine.
I don't want to say it. Never mind.
Based on meditation.
It's kind of a thing now. I've heard some people talk about it.
Meditation or breathing techniques?
Like breathing techniques and sort of meditation
Well,
stuff.
because that parallels over to the rewiring of your brain, and there's so much right now about.
I don't want
that.
to pull any plugs on my brain. I kind of like the where it's at. I don't want to rewire anything.
You don't
Yeah,
want to
you're fine.
rewire anything?
Nah,
Yeah, you do.
I'm good right
Why?
now.
What would he want to rewire? Name one thing.
I like myself.
There's always something you can improve.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
But
I
that,
mean-
that doesn't mean you have to rewire anything.
Well,
No, that means, hey, let's just work on
Come
something.
on now.
But okay, so this is.
So I'm going to unplug my brain right now.
I'm
Let
not
me
rewiring anything.
take my
Oh.
brain stem out for a second and rewire some things.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
They say that
They.
working like
Google who is they.
Who is they? I'm gonna guess they're monks.
they who really I don't know the name of the person was working with people with PTSD, and they were saying that it's talking about like neurology.
So funny when you think about it. They.
They're out there. That when you have these memories, and when you relive these memories, you have these connected these neurons in your brain that when you're reliving something traumatic or any situation, you have it wired this way to go back and look at it in such a negative way.
Right.
That's unwired. This is wired.
Got it.
That the more you relive it, the more you have that feeling. And if you have, gosh, I don't remember how they broke it up. It was like mood, emotion, mood, and personality trait. And emotion is like something that's really brief. Mood is if you have this emotion for multiple days, and personality trait is if you live in this for multiple years. So if you go through a traumatic situation, and every time I think about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, that was so painful and so hard. It sends me into a sad emotion, which can put me in a worse mood. However, if you meditate or remap this, so if you had a traumatic experience, you can send it the other way.
I don't know.
You guys are crushing my science dreams today. I'll remember not to bring
I feel
science
like we're
back.
going way too deep in some of this stuff. Because we don't know anything about it. Like, I
And the
can't.
Wi-Fi can't bring something up fast enough for me.
Well, it's not even that. It's like,
what
what would you even look up? Like, I don't know. I'm not.
Yeah.
No, I'm not on that level.
I don't even have the book of questions. Where's the book
I
of
feel
questions?
like we need like
didn't
a
bring the book of
professional in
questions.
that
It's
area.
out there. If
Yeah,
you give me a
most
minute,
definitely.
I can go get it. But
No.
it's in the car.
What other sciencey stuff?
No,
we have?
I'm done with science
What
today.
about
I've got 9,000
what
science
about
questions, but
the
you're
Space Force creation?
Listen, I sent my resume. I actually sent my resume in. I faxed it in.
They still fax stuff?
That's what I was trying to make a joke there.
Did you videotape your?
Yes, I videotaped it.
Yep.
You know, I got really frustrated the other day. I put up this little post,
You post.
on my internet.
On the internet?
On my internets, on the dark webs of the Instagrams.
Exchangeogram.
Exchangeogram. And MySpace. I got my MySpace account
MyFace?
up.
Wow.
Spacebook?
And some kid was making fun of me about that.
Your videotape? Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But I put video. What did I put? Listen, pull up Instagram, and it says video right at the top of it. So video is the term. It's correct, not videotape. Mm-hmm. But some kid was mocking me on Instagram and he tagged you, actually. That actually kind of made me mad.
You're welcome.
I was like, hey, man, why don't you shut up?
Why don't
like,
you
hey,
shut
hey,
up?
listen,
Hey, kid.
50-year-old punk.
Beat it, nerd.
Is that all
that's,
you-
you're damn. Oh, that's what I can't wait is when I get old, I can just be like, bunch of punks.
Yeah.
Look at these punks out here.
Is that all you got out of that?
Yeah. Punks.
I
I
like
read
Real
this
punk.
real good post, and look at this punk. All he wants is to talk about videotape.
I do have the book of questions. It's on my phone, too. I have it always with me everywhere. You just never know when you're going to have to go find that stranger that looks like they want to chat.
I want to make a point, though. It is correct to say I videoed something.
Correct.
That is correct.
That is okay.
That is not
I
wrong.
think that you should just keep saying videotaped.
No.
Own it.
Gives you character.
You don't have to say recorded. You can say
Nah,
videoed.
videoed. I mean, it says video in the mode that you click on.
Videotape, though. Like, I had no idea till you
Yeah,
actually
you were
said
like, what
that.
are you
And I
talking
was
about?
like,
I don't even
didn't
get
even
it.
get what happened.
Videotape what?
Why are you guys making
Say
fun
who?
of me?
But I come from those days where we actually had no
Oh, yeah.
cameras.
I
and
remember
that was
those
a thing.
cameras. Like, my aunt had one. Darren's mom had one.
I mean, news people still do.
Yeah.
But it's not videotape.
It's not? Do they have a slot for the VHS in those big bulky cameras
You know
now?
what? I actually really don't know. Honestly, that'd
Fact
be a
check.
good question.
There's no VHS. No, there's no even like no.
Maybe it's old school. When
Still-
do the movie theaters still have those big things in the back? I feel like that they're still on a reel because that's how they save them. So maybe
It's
VHS. Maybe we need to go to local news station and check their VHS archive, and they just bloop.
What was the other?
I
So there were
highly
two
doubt.
formats. There were two formats of video. Don't look it up. You can look it up. Don't be looking. That when video was first introduced,
Yeah.
way back in the day when I was in college, there were two forms. One was VHS, and the other was called. Does anybody know?
8mm.
8-track.
This is way before your time. Beta.
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 Yeah, I didn't
they were
know
the two.
that.
They were the two platforms.
Do you remember Laserdisc? Like before CDs came
Yeah.
out, there were the
Yeah, they were
discs that
big.
were like huge.
I don't remember that.
Remember that in like biology?
Oh yeah,
One of our
and they would,
teachers like, oh yeah, we're gonna
we
play
got
a
this-
laser
and it
disc.
was like
Yeah,
this
totally.
big.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
Well,
yeah.
like overhead projectors. You remember those?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Your teacher just sit
And
there
they
right
would
on their
sit right-
overhead
Just
projector.
like
Their
writing
handwriting?
on the clear
Hated
sheet.
that.
My teachers always had really great. I had one that was like it was like perfect cursive. Oh, our handwriting was like
Nobody writes in cursive
Well, when this
anymore.
first came
I
out,
do.
you had to pick. You had to go get a VHS
My
machine
grandma does.
or a beta
Yeah.
machine.
And so VHS
and my dad
won out, huh?
got beta, and it
phased
went in
out.
the tank. And VHS was the one that.
VHS is the winner.
Didn't-
I think it was a couple years ago that they made the last VHS player.
I still have one.
I don't know, but I think they don't make them anymore.
Probably
V8.
not.
They have to somewhere.
I honestly, it was a couple years ago. It was on the news that the last one was made.
Yeah, but there's too many.
I'm sure there's people that like service them and sell them.
You know you know what's like becoming archaic is you go into Walgreens or CVS and you go back to the technology area and you see like on the shelf they've got like
DVDs.
Do they still sell like blank CDs? And I feel like everything that's on its way out. Like I used to my last Forerunner, I had like it was old, so you had to put the tape in there, and I had to plug it into my phone to hear.
Yep.
And you know how hard it was to find that tape.
Yep.
But sure enough, you go to certain Walgreens or CVS, they still have. Now they might not, but that was like that was only like
we
a
were
year
talking
or two
about
ago.
me and Hillary were talking about this the other day. I remember, like, I wish I could find all my old CDs from like high school, and you like make a CD or whatever.
Oh yes, the mixes. I love.
But I remember
those.
the first one I ever had made. I was in like 7th grade. One of my mom's friends made it, and it was like. What was the song we were listening to? Oh, Superman by 3 Doors Down.
Oh,
Remember that song? That was one of the songs on there, or Kryptonite, whatever it was called.
I had mixed tapes.
Okay.
Ooh.
I had a Malibu that actually had an 8-track player
What year?
in it.
A Malibu.
It was a 70 something.
It
was a crappy
I want
car.
A Chevelle, like early 70s Chevelle.
I
late
wanted a
60s
muscle
Chevelle.
car so bad, but it was a 4-door, and
yeah.
and like one of the pistons was blown, and I could barely
knocking.
afford it. And
Yeah.
It was horrible, but it had an 8-track player in it.
Nice.
And then cassettes were the thing. after
Cassettes.
that.
I remember cassettes were early 90s.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
CDs were what, 2000s? Late 90s, 2000s?
Then a Walkman. I had a Walkman.
Oh, yeah.
And then I had a Sport Walkman.
I don't even know what that
you
means.
could shake it and it wouldn't skip.
Shake it.
Ah.
You
Do
could
you
put
ever
the CD
record
in it.
songs off the radio? Like you put the tape
Oh,
into
yeah.
the thing and you're like,
I definitely sent my girl like mixtapes. That was a thing.
oh, that's awesome.
Here, and get the love songs on it. That was a
On your
thing.
mixtape.
Oh yeah, that was a thing.
Are you ready for some questions from the book of questions? The cell phone of questions?
Sure. The cell phone of questions.
When was the last time you sat on a park bench for more than 10 minutes?
Never.
I went to Chattanooga and sat on a bench
Let's say
overlooking the
people
river.
watched. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
That I don't
it was kind of like a park bench.
That's kind of fair.
I have 3 kids. This
is kinda funny.
I
Yeah,
don't have time to do any
you
of
don't
that
get to
stuff.
sit
on
No,
that
I don't
leisure.
sit.
When something is funny, do you usually laugh, hiss, snort, chuckle quietly, or smile and nudge the person next to you?
Depends on how funny.
Yeah,
And if we're making fun of somebody and
Yeah.
if they can hear it.
yeah. Is it
You
dark
have a lot
humor?
of requisites.
It's a little edgy.
Yeah.
Kind of almost ready to get in trouble for saying it. It just depends.
Yeah, depends.
Like right there, that laugh right
That
there.
little laugh,
I
look.
like that laugh. She cracks me up when she laughs really hard.
Agreed.
Yeah, because she's all in. Right?
Yeah,
That's
for
all
sure.
in. Hillary's the same way. If you
Yeah.
can get her to really when she really laughs, because then she just gets tickled even more, it's awesome.
Yeah,
And she'll start crying, laughing so hard.
that's awesome. It's legit.
That's a good feeling.
I don't know how I don't know. I just laugh.
It depends on how funny something is. Is it like ha ha funny
Uh-huh.
or like ha 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 funny?
If I'm all in,
You know,
it kind
like
of gets.
text message. I don't use LOL, and so
No.
it's either ha ha or it's ha. If it's that's clever.
Right.
It's ha ha. That's pretty funny. If you get 3 ha's, it's really funny. And if you get several ha ha's, it's
You actually even put ha.
3 ha's.
I don't
I
even.
like
Or you
that.
put like the blah ha ha.
Bah,
Yeah.
that's pretty funny.
That's full commitment.
Yeah.
What yours is like? You text and it's long. It's
Okay.
I know. But so mine, I have different levels though. Ha 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 is
It's
like
true.
I'm chuckling for sure. Ah ha ha is a step above a chuckle. Bah ha ha is like I'm laughing really hard. And if any of those are in all capitals, I'm like rolling alone by myself, cackling.
And you do the emoji with the laughing face with the
Oh,
tears.
Yeah, I love that.
But what's
emoji.
cool about that is I can actually see you laughing.
Yeah,
So
that's true. It's
It's
pretty accurate.
I get it.
That's real.
Yeah.
What items do you have stored in the trunk of your car?
Oh,
don't
wow.
have a trunk because I have a truck.
Yeah,
a
but
Chevy
you have the
Silverado.
You have that little box in the back. That's like
Toolbox?
a fake trunk. What's in your toolbox?
Some baseball cleats,
Tim?
a baseball bat,
What?
a glove.
You've been playing a lot?
No, just still in there. Canvas chair, some tie downs, my bunker gear now. That's it.
I actually went into the trunk today. I have a bow,
Ooh.
a shotgun,
I like it.
3 pairs of athletic shoes, jumper cables, a fix-a-flat,
Oh.
a little toolbox, a rain suit, like a rain jacket, and because I was golfing,
Yeah.
and so I had a rain suit.
You ready for the zombie apocalypse or what?
Seriously.
Yeah.
Are you a prepper?
And what else was in
6 months worth of food
there? I bring
and a cat.
No, I bring that. I got that sawed-off shotgun, kind of a home defender.
Yep.
Because I'm gonna kill snakes on your driveway.
Yep, that's illegal. But
And oh, it is. Oops. No, I'm not doing that.
rattlesnakes and copperheads.
And I've
Just
got a
kidding.
machete. And
We haven't killed any, so Ted videoed one from within.
It's illegal?
Unless you feel threatened.
Oh, I'm threatened.
Unless it's coming after you.
If I get out of the car and stand in front of it,
Yep.
and a machete. I have a machete in there.
Okay.
Wow.
You are a prepper. You're
Yeah.
like zombie
Yeah.
apocalypse
I mean,
ready.
Wow.
What do you?
Don't mess with.
What do you have?
No,
Ellie,
I'm ready to go.
Besides your life.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, I've got like first aid,
Let's say,
A
what
little.
does Ellie not have in
Yeah.
her trunk?
tackle box.
A tackle
Well,
box?
you're
You're going
It's-
fishing?
Yeah.
Your
my dad gave it
Forerunner
to me
is
a while
full
ago.
of all kinds
Mysterious.
There was
multiple
a wheel and
outfits,
tire
shoes.
in the back for a while.
We probably don't ever
About
need
3
to
or
say
4
that.
months.
No, I got it taken care of immediately.
No,
That's
you
all
did-
right.
No, you
of. That
didn't.
rack for your bike is really awesome, though. So you don't have to cram that in the back of
Yeah,
your...
I've only used it once, but
Yeah.
in theory, it's a good idea if we'd ever go biking again, but someone doesn't bike. And we biked so much last year. It was so fun.
It was really cool.
Gosh, we were outside in the sunshine. Just
We're outside in the sun all the time.
Wind
It's
in
so
our face.
hot.
wherever the roads would take us. All the adventures, you just get lost on the bicycle and just... you come-
Literally, some people get lost on the bicycle.
True.
Everything was an adventure.
Producer
And now
Miller.
they're scarred for life.
She kind of got lost, but not.
No,
Yeah.
not me.
Yeah.
Like completely lost.
Yeah, it was Tasia and Ted that really were like,
old TNT.
See you later.
yeah, it's a good thing there was daylight. They would have died.
Barely found him before it got dark, though.
That was,
Because they went so far.
yeah, they missed a turn and went from, how far did they ride
For,
that day?
well, they walked a lot.
Yeah.
they
But
How
in
far
total,
did they go, though, probably?
If they would have made the full loop, it would have been about 40 miles. But they were about 5 or 6 miles short of that.
About 35.
So I was driving your truck,
They're so defeated.
and I went down around the mountain. We drove everywhere.
Yeah, we were
trying to find them.
My dad was out. We
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
getting in the car to go look as well because
Right.
they still weren't here. We were like, I was like, I'll stay here in case they miss them. Nope.
And I came upon them, and Tasia was walking her bike out in front, and she had the most angry, pissed off look on her face.
Happy.
And Ted was like 12 strides behind, and he just looked dejected.
He had like dirt on his face.
Just like he was just trying to just stay.
Don't dirtbag Ted.
Dirtbag Ted, one foot
was
in
a
front of
good
the
one.
other. They got rescued.
They did. They lived. It was a good story.
It's an epic story.
I agree.
We've been lost.
They're dead.
We
Dead.
Well, we didn't
dead.
get lost. We got left behind. He totally left us behind one day. Just rode on at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and we went down the wrong road somehow on some gravel road, and then your tire went flat. And
I was
then,
gonna say, I wish I could say I remembered that, but Rich leaves us every time. Not anymore. He did. Yeah,
Sorry
we
if
did.
you're not fit enough or fast enough.
No, that was in the beginning, and it wasn't that. It was you got down the driveway faster than everybody else. It was bike etiquette.
Likely story.
Yes, I
how
remember
fast
that.
how fast do you think you're going when you go down the front side of that?
Oh, he knows.
I think the top I've ever, which is not smart, probably 55.
You're flying.
It's so fast on the
Holy
bicycle.
smokes, you're
I
flying.
try to see if I can not touch the brakes.
That is scary. If anyone knew how steep his hill was, that's insane.
That's the front side of this mountain, and it is legit. You got to hit some good curves, so you can't make some mistakes on a
you just
couple of
lean
curves.
and make sure there's no gravel.
But then that last shot down,
The last hill, that's the one, like I don't even think about touching my brake until I hit that last hill, and then I'm like, and then usually I'll just like just get the play out of it, but not
Yeah.
actually engage the brake, just enough to make me feel like I'm pulling the brake. That's
Right.
what I've been doing.
because
been
then
one of
you're just, you're flying. You're gone.
And then usually I
It's just
cover
so
my lips
fast.
with my teeth just in case I put the bush. Like that'll stop anything.
Is that a thing?
I'm just like, oh, let's not lose my teeth.
Oh,
all
now
good.
if you go down,
You're done.
That's
Dead.
it.
Dead.
It's not going to work out.
Yeah.
That thought process. Wow. That's.
I'm pretty sure that
hilarious.
takes us to an hour. I think.
Are we close?
Where we at, Jim?
I don't know. Let me look. I thought that was producer Miller's. Oh, well, I can't tell. I have no
He
idea.
can't read.
Well, it's locked up. I don't know what the password is.
Okay, so one more question.
Top secret.
On a scale of
Oh,
1 to
it's-
10.
Now everybody knows.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh,
59 minutes.
12. We
That's
still have
good.
just
On a
few more
scale of 1 to
seconds.
10.
I did want to talk about the garden too, just for a second. I just wanted to point out that it's a sod farm. It's been
Jordan,
completely run
I just
over.
saw Jordan pull in, and he's got The rototiller.
Oh, that's not right.
Oh, and last night your dad took the weasel thing apart so that I could just have one spike and go in between the
garden
plants.
weasel?
Mm-hmm. Not the weasels, like the animals.
I'd really like to tell that story, but I don't want Ted to feel
Weasel
He
Ted.
told it the other day. He told
bad.
your
Did he?
daughter that
So
story.
he actually asked us. We were out
Well, what does a
gardening.
weasel do, and how do you keep it in?
He seriously asked. So how do you control the weasels when they're out here? How do you keep them?
We were like,
And I tried so hard not to laugh right in his face.
you were nice.
Garden weasels? No, that's like a tool. It's a little tool. He really wanted to know how you control the weasels.
Just
leash.
a herd of weasels.
Leash and
A
collar.
herd of weasels.
Yep.
All right, scale of 1 to 10.
How controlling are you?
Oh wow. So 1 is not controlling and 10.
Yeah, 1
I'm
would be not controlling.
I'm a
10
1.
would be very controlling.
I'm a 1. Man, I do not want that responsibility
Nope,
for
me either.
anybody on the planet.
Yep.
A group of weasels is referred to as a boogle.
A boogle.
Oh,
That's his new
confusion.
nickname. Boogle.
It can also be called a confusion, a gang, or a pack, but I like boogle.
That's so fitting.
Boogle.
Confusion as well.
That's awesome right
Perfect.
there.
Okay.
That's information we needed.
That's good.
Yep. Ted Boogle.
Boogle. Oh,
What's up, Boogle?
Oh.
I don't know. We can call him that. That's
Why?
not be
Boogle,
healthy.
are you out there?
He
Is
just-
Boogle here?
Yeah, Boogle's here. I just
Perfect.
saw his hair.
Is Boogle back?
Boogle's back.
With a new hairdo.
All right.
Because I was just
Next
thinking
week.
B-words.
Until next week.
Until next week.
Yeah,
CrossFit
that's it.
Mayhem.
Yeah.
CrossFitMayhem.com, FroningFriends.com. We did film some stuff for Mayhem Mindset.
We did. That's so
So we
awesome.
do have that
so
coming.
excited.
Hopefully August-ish is what
Yep.
we're looking at.
One of the phone calls here that I was messing with was the guy building the workbook right now. So
Okay.
we're going to call him back.
What else?
Websites.
Website's new. Shirts coming in.
That's a cool hat you
Yay.
have on, by the way.
Yeah, Good Dude's hat.
Yeah.
Those are available. CrossFitMayhem.com. New stuff in the store. That's about it.
There you go.
Peace.